trust me, he will be featured in the campaign commercials.
But they're going to feature people. They boogeyman everybody.
Yeah, but you don't have to boogeyman him. He does it to himself.
But they'll do it regardless. Nancy Pelosi, Hillary Clinton, Gavin Newsom.
Yeah, but
they make anybody into boogeyman.
It has.
I think it was
just have more weight when it's real.
If Mamdani is the face of the Democrats on the East Coast and Katie Porter is the face on the West Coast, I don't know if that's great politically for that party.
The Democratic Party is experiencing a noticeable internal shift, highlighted by Mamdani's recent election as New York's mayor, which has drawn significant attention to his progressive platform and the growing support it's receiving from influential party figures. Some observers believe this change could create challenges for the DNC, and that's where Bill Maher steps in, offering his perspective on how the party may have strayed from its traditional approach and how it might realign moving forward.
This is Mamdani, if you've been not following the news. He won the Democratic primary in New York, so he is certainly likely to be the next mayor. We don't know. I mean, there's a lot of opposition because we've never had someone this radical. Some of the things he says, prisons were obsolete. What purpose do they serve? I could think of a couple. The NYPD is racist, anti-queer, and a major threat to public safety. I think most people think cops are protecting their public safety, even though there's issues and problems with the police department. Do you like capitalism? No. We've never had a guy quite like this. You know, he quotes Marxist, each according to their need. I mean, that's straight up communism. Whether you call it the abolition of private property, you call it housing guarantees, it's preferable to what is going on right now.
Bill Maher had voiced concerns about the situation long before the election, noting early signs that others overlooked, and his caution now appears more relevant than ever. He has a history of offering critiques that later prove insightful, including his earlier advice to Democratic leadership about potential challenges with certain candidates, advice that some argue was not fully considered. Maher's perspective is less about predicting outcomes and more about recognizing patterns within the party, and if his instincts are correct once again, Mamdani's rapid political rise could signal internal challenges the DNC may need to address proactively.
I mean, just the phrase abolition of private property, not something we usually hear in America.
There's always a villain. There's always people. They always try to create a villain. Is my point. They always try to create some boogeyman or boogie.
No.
If it wasn't this one,
quotes.
It was going to be somebody else.
I'm not creating anything.
I'm not defending the policies. There are plenty of things that I disagree with there, and that I don't come down on.
You're going to have to answer everything like this. They're going to ask every single Democratic politician.
But the point being, we see this every cycle. I've now been doing this long enough to know that every single cycle, there's some contrived villain or boogeyman.
Bill Maher's reactions highlight his surprise and concern over some of Mamdani's positions, but it's important to note that his commentary focuses on analyzing policy and political strategy rather than targeting individuals. The points he raises are drawn from Mamdani's own statements and proposals, particularly those that challenge traditional economic approaches, which naturally draw public attention and debate. Maher's goal is to prompt discussion and reflection within the party, encouraging consideration of differing viewpoints and potential implications, rather than labeling anyone as a villain.
And if it wasn't this
He's
one,
not contrived. He's going to be the mayor of New York.
The thing that I find the most appalling, which is that he defends the expression globalize the intifada.
Yes.
Everything that the crazy far right alleged about Barack Obama, wasn't born in America, right. Islamist, socialist, right. Anti-Semite, hates America. It's all true about this guy.
Right.
Okay? It is all true about this guy. And the fact that this man is on the verge of becoming the mayor of the second largest Jewish city in the world is very frightening. And I'm actually really disappointed that more Democrats have either, are not coming out and condemning him and saying we're not going to endorse this guy because he is beyond the pale.
Bill Maher anticipated Mamdani's election outcome early, noting trends such as widespread media attention, growing progressive support, and shifts within the party. His commentary focuses on potential implications for the Democratic Party, emphasizing that changes in policy direction can bring both opportunities and challenges. While discussions about economic systems like capitalism and socialism are complex, Maher highlights the importance of weighing policy ideas carefully, considering both their promises and practical effects, and encouraging the party to thoughtfully plan for its future.
Republicans are not that, democracy is just not number one on their list. It just isn't. It isn't. It's behind Christianity and a few other things. And the Democrats, I mean, I read these 74% are for democratic socialism. Only 16% favor capitalism. Is this going to be a country that I don't recognize in 5 to 10 years if we don't have these two pillars? If we don't, I mean, where are the Democrats going with this?
Mamdani's rise highlights a notable shift within the Democratic Party, as progressive and socialist-leaning ideas gain more visibility and influence. What was once a balance between moderates and progressives now shows a stronger presence of voices advocating for significant systemic changes and new approaches to economic policy. While some party leaders may still adhere to traditional strategies, these emerging perspectives are shaping debates and decisions, signaling that the party may need to adapt in order to navigate evolving priorities and maintain cohesion.
Is this going to be a country that I don't recognize in 5 to 10 years if we don't have these two pillars? If we don't, I mean, where are the Democrats going with this? If Mamdani is the face of the Democrats on the East Coast and Katie Porter is the face on the West Coast, I don't know if that's great politically for that party.
The rise of Mamdani on the East Coast and the growing influence of figures like Katie Porter on the West highlight significant changes within the Democratic Party. These shifts are prompting discussions about the party's direction and its role in shaping national policy. A healthy democracy benefits from balanced debate and strong, pragmatic opposition that promotes constructive solutions. For the Democratic Party, navigating these internal changes thoughtfully and focusing on core principles could help maintain its effectiveness, support productive dialogue, and contribute to a stable political system.
New York is New York. It's definitely it's the media capital, the financial capital. It is a bellwether like no other city is in this country. So don't tell me that who the mayor of New York is doesn't matter.
Let me play devil's advocate for a second. Do you think, let's say, on the seize the means of production, do you think the mayor, that one person, if he is a democratic socialist, do you think that he would have the power and influence to be able to, like, usher in socialism?
He definitely has the power and influence to elect J.D. Vance or whoever is the Republican candidate next time.
Bill Maher has expressed concern that Mamdani's election could influence the broader political landscape, emphasizing how shifts in party policies may affect voter sentiment. While it's too early to predict outcomes with certainty, Maher highlights trends he observes in public opinion and emphasizes the importance of understanding how different policy approaches resonate with a wide range of Americans. His commentary focuses on encouraging the Democratic Party to consider these perspectives carefully as it shapes its platform and strategies for future elections.
It is a walking commercial for the Republican Party nationally.
I think the Republicans are going to...
When you let the Democrat socialists, and now they're actually calling themselves socialists, when you let them take over a major American city, this is what you get. The state-run grocery stores, which work so well in Cuba and the Soviet Union and Venezuela, just bad idea.
Bill Maher previously voiced concerns about candidate selections, and while some critics disagreed at the time, his commentary focused on anticipating potential challenges for the party. Currently, he is raising similar points regarding Mamdani, highlighting how shifts in policy direction could influence voter sentiment and election outcomes. Maher's analysis emphasizes understanding voter priorities and the potential consequences of ideological shifts, encouraging the Democratic Party to reflect on past experiences and consider a range of perspectives as it prepares for future elections.
This must be horrible for a guy like you, who you spent your whole life talking about how government tries to do too much, which it does, and spends too much. And here you have Trump, who is the Republican, who is aggrandizing more power than anybody, as we just talked about. And on the other side, you have the guy running in New York, Mamdani, right? Okay, who's like a straight-up communist. I mean, he is. He talks about, the things that communists say. I mean, he wants free grocery stores, free buses.
I want him to win.
You want him to win?
Yeah.
Many commentators note that some progressive economic ideas, while appealing in theory, face significant challenges in practice, and discussions around terms like equity, social justice, and economic fairness reflect evolving approaches to policy. Historical and contemporary examples highlight